Hello, beautiful friends. It is Natalie from Light of Ascension Tarot. I've got some music, meditation, Pleiadian music playing in the background now. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it, but I might have to turn it down just a little bit so I can really focus and concentrate. And today's reading is called Embracing Pleiadian Frequencies, Full Moon Lunar Eclipse in Taurus. Okay, and we definitely have a lunar eclipse in Taurus coming up on Friday. This eclipse is conjunction the Pleiades, and the Pleiades are a group called, you might also heard of them, called the Seven Stars, and there's 7 stars on the shoulder of the bull in the constellation of Taurus that represent the Pleiadian energy and also the energy of the blue flame. So for those of you that connect with Pleiadian energies, also for those of you that have if your rising sign, you have any major planets in your chart, conjunction the last couple degrees of Taurus or the last couple degrees of Scorpio, you are definitely born at a time when Pleiadian energy was extremely high, and you're born under the influence of the Pleiadian star system. My Sun in Taurus is at 28 degrees Taurus, which happens to be conjunct the Pleiades as well. So right there with you, if for those of you that have placements in your chart like that. I also just want to say, for those of you that have ever learned anything about fixed stars in astrology, the Pleiades as a star system when conjunct your sun, your moon, your rising, etc. in your chart can be is oftentimes in astrology looked at as an extremely malefic influence, and especially I don't believe the Pleiadians are as a race, as a star race, are malefic or completely malefic, but I think what it's talking to about those final degrees of Taurus or Scorpio is that they're really that we all have to, pass through. For those of us that are on this planet seeking knowledge, we have to be able and willing to pass through the needle of, suffering, or dark night of the soul, and many of us have been through many dark nights of the soul, and many ones and big ones and small ones. And for my old souls who are watching here, which probably everyone watching this channel is an old soul, I would say. For old souls who've been around for a long time, have been incarnating many times, and, with powerful guides, assisting them to help people get out of confusion and get out of torment and get out of oppression is really, we talk about, like, there's this whole, excuse my intro, if you can definitely go straight to the description box below, and it's 11:11 right now, which is an amazing time to start this reading as well. You can definitely go and find your pile and go straight to it. But for those of you that want to listen to this intro, basically, now I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. The Pleiadian star system, talking about, those of us who have known, oppression, those of us who have, come through the energies of Pluto, those of us who have incarnated with some heavy scorpionic, plutonic energies, okay? Like the Pleiades is like a balance to that in a way, but during eclipse time, it can feel extremely malefic. And I was walking my dog last night at about, I think it was 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I can just feel it in the air. I mean, eclipses in the ancient world were also known to be very malefic, and there were certain spiritual practices and daily practices that you were supposed to engage in during an eclipse, such as fasting and praying and things of that nature, which, is a beautiful thing to engage in. And I could just feel it in the air, talk about the energetic experience. Go around and walk outside, you know, at 10 o'clock at night when the wind is blowing, and look at the trees, hear the animals, hear what's going on around you, because the animals can feel eclipses too. They can definitely feel eclipses coming on. And I do feel like the sky is very, very malefic right now. Now, that doesn't mean that, it just means we're going through, you know, the eye of the needle. When something is in, you know, a very malefic place, we're going through the eye of the needle. And, you know, whenever, like, the crazy thing is as dark of a place as you've been in, I feel that's also proportional to the amount of assistance from the spiritual realm that someone is getting. All right. And, so that doesn't take away from the fact that things are hard or there's struggles. And, you know, talking about, you know, raising things to higher frequencies. I mean, I think, you know, everyone who wants to live on a higher frequency, like, we all want to be on a higher frequency, but we can't ignore the lower frequencies either. And we're not just going to all walk around in a kumbaya state forever. You know, the Earth planet is very challenging, and there's going to be malefic energies here. There's going to be malefic energies within our own self. You know, we all have Mars and Saturn in our charts. There's always going to be a malefic influence somewhere, right? But the Pleiadians, I feel, are helping to bring clarity with the blue flame, and clarity about our experiences, clarity to free us from, you know, freeing our minds so that we can be free from oppression, right? And I think that is something that the Pleiadian energy has really taught me. And as I was setting up this reading, I was really connecting with a particular energy that has been close to me for a long time, and asking this energy, this Pleiadian energy, to share their wisdom with everyone who sees this reading, and to help. I was specifically channeling his energy and asking him to come through in this reading. And and so everyone, today, I hope that this reading really brings you, I hope it brings you something profound, something healing, something comforting, or just something that you know needs release. You know, it's like when you go get a massage and they're hitting a spot on your back that's very tight and and wound up, right? And it takes when they're working on it, it feels a little bit painful, a lot painful actually. Like, sometimes you're just like, oh my God, you know. But then you get that moment of release where it's like, oh my God, I can roll my shoulders again. I can breathe again. I feel like my heart is opening again. Okay, so this is the energy of the Pleiadians, and we are gonna go ahead and get into it. My beautiful people that are here today, thank you so much for being here with me and allowing me to do this work for you. Oh my God, I didn't go over the piles. I have to go over the piles, okay? So let's go ahead so you guys can make your selections and your choices here. I'm just skipping right in. So for pile number 1, we have the Black Obsidian Pyramid. For those of you interested in pile number 1, we have the Black Obsidian Pyramid. For those of you that are interested in pile number 2, we have the Smoky Quartz crystal, Smoky Quartz, for pile number 2. And for pile number 3, we have the Labordorite. For those of you that are interested in this beautiful piece of Labordorite. And let's go ahead and chop it up, everybody. Let's get into the energies. We are gonna look at embracing Pleiadian frequencies on this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. So let's go ahead and get into it. And you know, it's easy to forget, like, our spiritual roots and where we come from when we're really, really suffering, and when we're besieged by the discomforts of living in a body, like, and feeling ill or sick. And, you know, those things are obviously part of our experience here. And it's hard sometimes to remember, or like emotionally, when we're being besieged by something that feels very terrorizing, you know? So I just want to hold space for everyone, because I know as human beings, we've all of us have felt this type of energy before. So let's go ahead and do it for my beautiful pile number ones. Pile number one, you chose the Black Obsidian. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is called Embracing Pleiadian Frequencies, Full Moon Lunar Eclipse in Taurus. This lunar eclipse is happening on Friday, and well, depending on where you are in the world, it may be later. For me here in Austin, Texas, I think it's at about 3 a.m. on Friday, like Friday late, Friday 3 a.m. in the morning, that type of thing, okay? Sorry, I'm like 3 a.m., right? That's early in the morning. Yes, of course it is. So anyway, pile number one, we got to get our time zones straight, right? But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. And I mentioned in the intro that the sky is feeling pretty malefic right now. So we want to embrace the light of, you know, the blue flame and the light of the Pleiadian frequencies, so that we can grow and transcend. Okay, my beautiful pile number ones, I know it's a lot easier said than done, but we are going to go ahead and channel it in. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the wonderful energy of my beautiful pile number one who are here today embracing the energy of the Pleiadian frequencies. Please bring through the Pleiadian guides for my beautiful pile number one and my special Pleiadian guide as well. Thank you so much, Spirit, for being here with us today. And let's go ahead and also just wanted to acknowledge the Great Mother Universe as well for being here with us. Of course, she's always with us. So let's go ahead and do it. My beautiful pile number ones, let's see how you are embracing Pleiadian frequencies at this time. We have Earth, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. All right, pile number one, especially with this Black Obsidian, talking about feeling grounded, right? And sometimes the Earth plane can feel kind of heavy, but there's a beauty to it too. There's wonderful things on the Earth plane. Like, you know, I always remind myself when I'm outside, like, smell a flower, you know, this might be the last time some of us are here, you know, we might as well smell a flower, touch something, you know, drink something, you know, just walk around and feel the grass on your feet. Okay, so there's some interesting, you know, sensations, right, from being on the Earth plane that we can get. And the Pleiadians coming through to talk to you about learning how to be human in a world where maybe it felt like sometimes pile number one that you just weren't fitting in, or that, and some of you, I'm seeing her here being held in a sacred bubble as well. And the Pleiadians, I feel like pile number one fortifying you, maybe in the astral plane when you're dreaming, right? But then when it's time to be on the earth plane, when it's time to walk around in our daytime lives, then talking about learning how to do this in a way that can feel good to you. Feel good in your body, I feel, pile number one. We have selenite and purification. So this eclipse portal for you is talking about the crystal selenite. And selenite is deriving its name from Selene, the Greek goddess of the moon. With its pure white translucent light, selenite can help purify your auric field and raise the vibration of your environment. It opens you up to the crown chakra and connects you to your angels, spirit guides, and higher self. Selenite is one of the few stones that requires no cleansing because it does not retain negative energy. As I purify my space, it gives me a clean slate so I can fill it with things of a higher vibration. So maybe even just cleaning your space in general would be a good thing to do during this eclipse so that you can actually just purify your home. You know, they always say like vacuuming and wiping down the counters or dusting is like a way of lifting the energy as well. If things have gotten a little bit stale, you know, there's a way to open up that energy, okay? And the Pleiadians also talking about purifying your energy field, pile number one. We have signs and synchronicities, seeing many signs. All right. So the fairy kingdom is here too, and I see a butterfly here, and spirit is looking in on you, pile number one, and showing you a lot of signs and synchronicities. If you even step outside, I feel like you're gonna see things, okay, right away. We have unplug, disconnect, and take a break from electronics, okay? Yeah, so don't let yourself get carried away with everything that's going on in the world. Maybe for some of you, your work is constantly can reach out to you all the time. Like anyone can reach out to you, direct message you, ping you, send you an email. And, you know, in the modern day world, we're constantly besieged. And it feels like we cannot really disconnect, okay? So the Pleiadian's talking about purifying your energy and taking a break from electronics, okay? And because it starts to feel kind of like gray and lonely and empty, right? Like we're just sitting in an empty room when we're just only connecting with our electronics, you know? We have intentions. Tell the universe what you would like to focus on and write out and speak it out. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, I've had a problem with this before too, pile number one. I get very 7 of Cups at times about what I really want to do. There's so many things I could do that I'm like, oh, this is interesting, right? But the Pleiadian's saying, if you tell us what you would like to focus on, write it out and speak it out to us, and it's coming from your heart, then this is going to help you focus your intention, okay? So very good, pile number one. We have, okay, so here's a couple of energies that the Pleiadians are helping you with as well. We have quarrelsome. Does this action fulfill an emotional need for you? Does it make you feel powerful? Is it a bad habit that needs to stop, okay? So if some of you have been getting quarrelsome online, or you've been getting very activated by the things that people say, Spirit is holding you, the Pleiadians are holding you in a bubble right now, purifying your energy, showing you the signs, asking you to disconnect for a little bit here to kind of restore your energy. So people around you may have been very quarrelsome with you lately too, starting fights, etc. We have selfish. Are you wrapped up in your own desires? Try looking at and caring about the needs of others, okay? And maybe this is something you guys have been fighting with lately with people in your life, being selfish or acting like only their needs are important while you've been taking care of the needs of others, and a need to kind of step away from this energy. Some of you may be observing things in the collective where people are just being quarrelsome and selfish and not supportive to others, okay? So the Pleiadian's helping to, and I feel like that energy is like so narrow-minded in a way, and it's like such small potatoes in a way when we get really quarrelsome and selfish about really small, tiny things. You know, the Pleiadian's helping you to just say like, let's just sweep that away, you know? And not focus on it to death. Let's see what else. We have card 64, devotion to service, Pleiadian energy, present day Pleiadian energy. So many of you watching this are going to be devoted to some type of spiritual service and are going to be very focused on that. And part of your life path is to have a devotion to service. And the Pleiadians in general have a devotion in service to humanity, is what I feel, okay? And so some of you may be offering a product or a service as you are in service to humanity, okay? And that's a beautiful thing. That's lovely, pile number one. We have equal value philosophy, card 86, and the Pleiades future energy, right? So this equal value philosophy of, you know, your opinion is your, like, you know, not quarreling or arguing with others all the time, right? Just accepting and saying, you know what, like, this is not something that I'm going to, you know, this is not something I'm going to die on this cross. You know what I'm saying, pile number one? Like, I'm not going to die on this cross with this quarrelsome energy or focus on this selfish energy. I'm going to go where, you know, there's equal value in what this person is doing and equal value in what I'm doing, right? There has to be a fair trade of energy is what I feel. Even if your life is in devotion to service, there has to be a fair exchange of energy. And yeah, so let's see what else here. I feel like the Pleiadians are highlighting the clock here as well. And they're showing you it's time. It's time. Like, there might be a lot on your mind right now, pile number one, about different plans that you have or things that you want to do. But I feel like the Pleiadians are saying, you know, everything you do or everything you want to do is equally great, but it is time. Like, they're pointing, it's almost like they're pointing to a watch and saying, let your intentions be known to the universe, because it's time to kind of focus in on it. We've got fire and action. Yeah, so helping you to take action on what it is that you want to do. We have the buffalo and abundance, right? So, I mean, the universe loves a hustler, right? Also, this buffalo kind of reminds me of the bull with Taurus. I know buffaloes and bulls are different things, but it kind of reminds me like of the Taurus constellation of the bull, okay? And I feel like bold endeavors when it comes to your abundance or to the actions that you're taking in your life are upon you right now. And the Pleiadians are saying it's time, okay? Bold actions when it comes to bringing things into fruition. We have communicate clearly. Yeah, the Pleiadians are asking you to communicate clearly with them what your intentions are. And it may be a little bit hard to do if you're like very connected to the computer all the time. And it may even be hard for you to see certain signs and synchronicities, especially if you when you're very connected into like constantly on the computer, constantly, you know, and we all do this, right? Constantly on our phones, constantly on our computers. And it may be, you know, the Pleiadians are saying here, take some time out from this right now, especially during this eclipse, and think about what your true intentions are, write them down and speak them, and communicate clearly to the Pleiadians, because they are helping you find your purpose, I feel, pile number one, and take action on it. Because the Pleiadian energy is also a practicality. It's also like the actions that we need to take to get there. And the Pleiadian energy can be very motivating that way too. We have growth. I want to expand my consciousness and awareness, okay? So yeah, the Pleiadians talking about, it's almost like that Libra energy, when Libra is in its best expression, is equal value philosophy, being able to see, you know, how things balance, how things can be diplomatic, right? How things can be, you know, and how we can become more evolved in our own consciousness, right? Whenever I think of Libra energy, I always think of like the highest expression of it. I think of like a different society where, you know, that humans have maybe never experienced, where, at least not while we're embodied here, where there is just such a high level of, you know, a high level of consideration for others, but without eroding your own boundaries. And it's very like high-minded, you know? And yeah, the growth that you guys want to experience in my pile number one here, coming through strong with the Pleiadian energy. We have judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Okay, so this is an area that they are helping you to communicate clearly your intentions, to take actions on what it is that you want to do, so you can be dedicated in service, and so that your judgments don't hold you back. We all have to have discernment and judgment, but sometimes, you know, like overdoing it, whether it's to ourselves or towards others, can you know, can stifle our growth. And I feel like the Pleiadians are helping you with this. Pile number 1. We have a new moon in Libra. That's so interesting. I was talking about Libra, and look at the scales, look at the balance, having a balanced view on things, being able to consider things in a very high-minded type of way. And yeah, it says a new romantic cycle begins. So some of you with this full moon eclipse are not only receiving more support when it comes to taking practical actions, communicating clearly towards your devotion to service in your life path, but you're also opening yourself up to a new romantic cycle. And even if you've been married for 10 years, or, you know, we always are entering into new phases of growth where we can see like our partner in a new way. We can see where they're coming from. We're not so locked in our own pattern that we can't, and triggered in our own pattern that we can't see the value of where others are coming from, right? And you have to have very good boundaries to put yourself in that position, because that can also make you go, oh, well, I can see how it is for this person, right? I mean, you have to have the sovereignty place in peace. You have to have the Aries piece, the Emperor piece in place before you can really go to that super high-minded consciousness of, I mean, you can go there before it, but it becomes troublesome, you know? You want to have the sovereignty piece, and then it's easy to see where others are coming from and clear energy from a relationship perspective, okay, in knowing that. And let's see here, we have Oracle of Chaldea. Wow, well, that makes me think of the Chaldean, the order of the Chaldean planets, which is something that I have been studying recently in my traditional astrology studies. But the Oracle of Chaldea, the Chaldeans were associated with Babylonian times, okay? And some of you in pile number 1, you could have been oracles. You could have been diviners, oracles in spiritual purpose, going all the way back to Babylonian times, okay? And you may have a connection to Babylonia or to that time period, or you may need to read about it or learn about it, because there was something very profound that happened to your third eye, I feel like, during that period. And I feel like this is not the first time that you guys have aligned with the Pleiadian energy. You aligned with it a long time ago. And some of you were already oracles, or you were already a person that people sought advice from. You know, an oracle is somebody who's very wise and also connected, right? Connected psychically and spiritually, okay? Not just connected to another person, which is important, right? But also connected spiritually. So I want to read this, card 37, the Oracle of Chaldea. That is pretty fucking cool, pile number 1. I gotta say, that is pretty amazing. Let's look at this card, okay? Wow, and the whole thing is talking about, well, I just looked at page 37, and it talks about the process of purification. I just want to read this. It's not this card, but I just happened to turn to this page, and we have purification right here, so I want to read this to you real quick. When we are experiencing a purification, it may feel like we have an onslaught of stuff to deal with. Whether it seems to be arising from within or coming at us from the external world matters not. Purification is not a sign we've done something wrong. It is a sign that we are doing something right. We are moving ahead on our path, our growth, yeah. Our soul is letting us know it's time to move on, and we are ready. Yeah, I saw the clock earlier with the time and the Pleiadians pointing to the time, okay? To move on, some things from the past will need to be released. Often it is our attachment to what has been that needs to go. For that to happen, we may need to feel emotions, acknowledge a truth, forgive ourselves and others, and trust in our own healing timing. There is no need to rush, but nor do you want to suppress it. There is support for the process here. If you are guiding this process for another person or a group, simply adapt. Oh, okay. Simply adapt. This is telling me what I should be doing here is I'm leading a process of purification for you, pile number 1. I open my heart to divine wisdom. I ask for unconditional love and the highest levels of the white light available to me and to enter my heart. In this sacred space, I open to grace, healing, and protection and blessing. So mote it be. Okay. So there definitely is some, and to ask in this eclipse, ask the Pleiadians to help you with purification of your life path and your devotion to service. My beautiful pile number ones. Okay. And I just wanted, that's so interesting that I turned to that page. Let's go ahead and see the Oracle of Chaldea. There are times when, okay, I'm gonna read this first. Continue on your healing journey with enthusiasm, but without forcing things to happen more quickly than feels natural. Sometimes the body will be ready to go, while the mind is still holding on. At other times, the mind may need to be patient as the body processes the experience. Yeah, trust your own timing and rhythm. There is no need to be impatient or to judge yourself. You are, yeah, judgment here, right? You are summoning the spiritual fortitude to tackle an issue which has previously held you back. When the time is right, the healing shall happen more easily if you tried to push forward prematurely. Things are going to work out. Be positive, okay? We can imagine that the wounded self lives in the room of the mansion of our soul. When that room has not been entered, yeah, I talked about the empty room here. When that room has not been entered in a long time, it may become a scary place in our minds, a place to avoid. That is part of how humans protect themselves, yeah, by unplugging for sure. Living in such a split and defended state is not tenable forever, but for a time it can serve a useful purpose, allowing us to build the strength and awareness that we need to address the situation. We do what we can to grow, right? Here's growth again, and prepare to enter that room, that empty room, to open it and rescue the beautiful aspect of our soul that's been waiting such a time to come. Yeah, the clock, right? To prepare for such a heroic healing moment, we can connect with the spiritual realms of light, the Pleiadians here, as a source of love and strength. During such downtime with the divine, we can learn about ourselves beyond our wounded parts. While we know we have some healing to do, we understand that alongside our vulnerability, there is courage, wisdom, and confidence. By acknowledging our wounds and affirming our strength, we ready ourselves to take the next steps. The Chaldean is the devotee to the light of spirit. When the Oracle of Chaldea comes up to you, it is an encouragement to rely on the light. Embrace practices that help you feel connected. Grow your trust and spirit within you. This is not about ignoring where you need healing. It is about knowing that on a deep level, you are loved, spiritually guided, divinely held, and worthy and capable of healing. All right. You may feel your relationship with spirit is already strong enough to support such a process. Yeah, for sure. You guys have been going through this process for a while. It's been over lifetimes. In this case, the Oracle is an encouragement to embrace your readiness and to allow the grace of your journey to expand into all areas of your life. A spiritual growth spurt. Oh my God. It literally says that, pile number one. Growth, a spiritual growth spurt. Wow, you know when you're like a teenager and you have a growth spurt and you're getting like a cramp in your leg and you wake up in the morning and you're like, ooh, you know, like growth spurts can be like a little bit cramping, I feel like, but you are in a spiritual growth spurt, pile number one, which is very cool. So let's look at the tarot and see here for my beautiful pile number ones, how the Pleiadians, oh, there's the Lovers. So yeah, a new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. We've got air sign energy, Gemini energy with the Lovers here, talking about an equal value philosophy. You're okay, I'm okay. It's all okay. I was also really feeling that energy coming from the Pleiadians, like, you know, and with the Lovers too, there's a sense of equality and balance. And the Lovers is number 6 in the tarot, which is also, you know, a really great number in the tarot in general. It represents Tiphareth in the Tree of Life, which is like this central force where the sun is located, and it is about beauty, okay? Beauty and harmony. So very, very awesome. We have the Fool. So getting excited, right? And getting excited for what's to come and not worrying about it, pile number one. Like getting excited, getting motivated, you know, getting this fire action energy going on. The Fool is called the Lord of the Scintillating Intelligence, right? And yeah, so there is something here about the Pleiadian energy bringing you like a lot of clarity and there's a lot of air sign energy here, which really, you know, lines up with this communicate clearly and set your intentions kind of an energy. And that a new cycle is beginning here with this card as well. Here's Strength. Yeah, when you're going through like a spiritual growth spurt, you definitely, I wrote that on my Instagram. I made a post about this eclipse on Instagram, and I said we all need our spiritual strength right now. And we definitely do, because we're embarking on a new phase of the journey where the way we think and how we process things mentally is going to become a lot more important. So this information is being highlighted. Also, these are all major arcana cards for you, pile number one. So talk about a growth spurt. And yeah, you do need, this is all, to me, this is all about having courage. This is about embracing new ways of thinking, new ways of communicating, and bringing, yeah, here's the Eight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So bringing in a lot more excitement to you too. But I do feel like because you are going through a growth spurt, if you remember that from when you were a teenager, pile number one, you know, a lot of times teenagers, they need a lot of sleep, you know, with this Four of Swords here. And actually the Four of Swords is not sleeping in this card. It's actually a knight who is meditating on a night vigil before they're to be knighted the next day. So there is an element of ritual and meditation and calming the mind that is involved here. But I also just feel like you guys do need your sleep. You do need peace. Some of you may find comfort in mudras as well, which is certain positions of the hand. Also, to me, this reminds me of Shavasana in yoga, where, you know, a beautiful Shavasana is always needed after a time of exertion, for sure. And yeah, so I do think you need your sleep right now. I do think a lot of people need their sleep right now. And especially like we just had daylight savings, so it creates this shift within us where we need more time to, you know, be in the energy of peace and calmness and beautiful stabilizing thought patterns, okay, is what I feel the Pleiadians are helping to bring you right now, pile number one, as you go through this spiritual growth spurt, okay? So thank you so much, my loves, in pile number one. And I also feel like they're saying don't let the little things bother you. You know, it's okay, like we're not bypassing anything, but if there is some little tiny things, try not to go off on them during this time, okay? With this quarrelsome energy here, all right? So thank you so much, my beautiful pile number ones. And what an awesome reading, pile number one. I love that for you. And I hope to see you again really soon. Do leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'd love to know how this eclipse energy is feeling for you. Thank you so much, pile number one, and take care. All right, let's go ahead and move on to pile number two. Okay. Let's do it. Pile number two, welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful Smoky Quartz, which is a stone that I've had for a very long time, and I've used it many times when I've been channeling and working with the other side, or working with spirit, or working with the dead, okay? And yeah, it has a lot of history with me, and it's one of the most beautiful pieces I could ever imagine. So congratulations for you, pile number two. And yeah, today's reading is called Embracing Pleiadian Frequencies, Full Moon Lunar Eclipse in Taurus. The full moon eclipse is on Friday, and it is in conjunction with the Pleiadian star system, or the Seven Sisters, as we call it here, which is the cluster of stars that is on the shoulder of the bull, the constellation of the bull, okay? And I had a lengthy intro about this eclipse and the nature of it and how the ancients saw the fixed star Pleiades, especially during eclipses, which can be malefic at times. So just making sure you're grounding and protecting your energy, pile number 2, and embracing the blue light, okay? The blue light, the blue flame of the Pleiadian energy. So let's go ahead and get into it for my beautiful pile number 1s. Spirits, angels, and guides, particularly Pleiadian guides for my beautiful pile number 2s, and also my special guide that connects me with the Pleiadian energy as well. Please step forward as we look at, for my beautiful pile number 2s, embracing Pleiadian energy. The spirit and soul of the Pleiades, pile number 2. Let's go ahead and do it. I felt a need to be kind of quiet there as I was doing your channeling. So let's go ahead, and maybe things have been a little bit quiet or you've just needed some quiet, but let's see, what are the Pleiadians bringing forward for you? The cosmic heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. Oh my God, pile number 2. I love that. Okay, now's the time to put your, oh, and I see a cat here for some of you that have a beautiful cat, or an animal, just an animal in your life that is very protective of you. I feel like even an animal in spirit. For those of you also that resonate with the energy of the owl as well, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling this energy putting this animal totem, or your own beautiful animal that you have, putting their energy on your heart, which is wonderful, pile number 2, right? So devotion and potency, making your life a moving prayer. That's amazing, pile number 2. The Pleiadians connecting you to the cosmic heart that flows through all of us. Wow. That energy is deeply graceful, I feel, pile number 2. We have snow quartz and the white light. The white color of snow quartz, it reminds me of Snow White, right? The white color of snow quartz represents purification, cleanliness, and innocence. It helps surround you and yourself with white light, bringing spiritual protection and connection from your angels and spirit guides. Carrying snow quartz is like having a snow angel in your pocket. I surround myself with the white light of protection. Only good energy is allowed in and around my space. And I feel particularly for you guys, your heart space. The Pleiadians are helping you with your heart space. And it's interesting because in pile number 1, there was also an energy of purification. So definitely the Pleiadians stepping forward with purification right now. Work on your root chakra, right? Doesn't surprise me. We have the beautiful Smoky quartz, which is connected to the root chakra and is extremely helpful for those of you that do spiritual or intuitive work yourself, or you want to meditate and work with your guides, but you want to feel safe and grounded at the same time. Highly recommend a Smoky quartz that fits really nice in your hand that you could hold on to. But spirit talking about, I feel the Pleiadians working on your root chakra and your heart chakra, okay? And purifying both of them right now. So if there's been anything in your life that has been causing you fear or worry, the Pleiadian energy is here to help ground you. I mean, the Pleiades is also in the constellation of Taurus, which, you know, Taurus as a constellation, as a sign, is very grounded. You know, it's very devoted and grounded and loyal in the highest expression of that energy. Okay, so talking about, you know, rooting, also for those of you that have a spiritual practice and are devoted, you know, rooting that in like a ritualistic or practical kind of way in your everyday life right now. The Pleiadians helping you with that. Wow. Oh my God, we have gifts here. And look at this, heart is on fire, right? I was thinking of the Heart's on Fire. Isn't that a song? My heart is on fire. But anyway, yeah, gifts. Practice makes perfect. Find the right tools. So some of you are not some of you, all of you watching this are spiritually gifted, and you have gifts to share with the world. And the Pleiadians helping you root yourself in some type of daily spiritual practice to help you ground yourself in the energy of the blue flame and the white light, in order to help you, to give you the foundation that you need to work on channeling your spiritual gifts even stronger, even more than before, okay? To a place where it doesn't consume you, you know, because sometimes when we do spiritual work, it consume our heart, just really consume our heart space, and we can get into a place of burnout, you know, whether that's empathic burnout or just burnout in general. So the Pleiadians helping you with this, pile number 2, helping you to develop your gifts. And they're saying practice makes perfect. Find the right tools, okay? So maybe some of you, in a practical, ritualistic way, finding the right tool on a day-to-day basis that helps you in your spiritual practice, whether it's incense, whether it's a bell. I'm going to ring this bell right now, whether it's a bell, whether it's, you know, certain spiritual oils, whether it's a certain style of meditation, whether it's being more physically active and doing something with the body like yoga or taking walks, right? The Pleiadians saying, practice makes perfect, find the right tools, okay? Sometimes that could even be a teacher too. Find the right teacher that can give you the right tools. Lower vibrations, make sure you are protecting yourself, okay? So look at all these hands coming up, okay? Some of you feeling like, yeah, you do have spiritual gifts, but at times just people coming out of the woodwork, needing, wanting. I mean, that's a wonderful thing, pile number 2, but it's hard when you feel like you can't say no to people, and I've been there too, or you can't just, sometimes we overdo things, right? And then it leaves open a door for us to be overly consumed by whatever it is that we're doing, okay? So the Pleiadians are here to protect you from lower vibrational energy right now, to help ground you in your gifts and to help you, you know, to increase your potency, I feel as well, pile number 2, specifically for those of you that have really intense spiritual gifts, you know? If we have like lower vibrations happen on the earth plane. It's a common fact, and it's something that we all have to learn how to deal with. But, you know, if we have a strong root chakra and, you know, and a good devotional practice, it really can increase our potency. We have insecurity. Please understand your worth and value, your purpose here, and your purpose here on earth. There is no need to feel small or compare yourself to others, okay? And some people in your life, you may feel, pile number 2, making you feel insecure about who you are or what it is that you do, or people feeling jealous of you, wanting to compete with you at times, pile number 2, that as well. Or people just, you know, asking for your help and then making you feel like crap for something that you said or did, pile number 2, okay? So the Pleiadians are helping you to get through any insecurity. Also, if you have any insecurities about your spiritual gifts, the Pleiadians are helping you to overcome that. We have narrow-minded. You have a limited outlook on perspective and thoughts. What makes you think your thoughts are solid gold, okay? So this is also in your own self-talk. If you're putting yourself down and you're listening to what others are saying, or you're thinking that you can't shine because it's going to, you know, make others feel insecure, okay, the Pleiadian energy is helping you in pile number 2, I feel, to move away from this type of thinking, because that feels, it doesn't feel expansive, which becomes more narrow-minded, okay? And for some of you, like, the quality of thoughts actually do matter. Like sometimes when I'm in in a negative loophole with myself, like talking down to myself, I have to remind myself, why do I think every thought that I have is solid gold? Okay. So yeah, and asking yourself that when you're in like a spin, pile number 2 may help you if you're like feeling insecure, or you feel like, because people are very narrow-minded at times, they're going to misinterpret you, and therefore that makes you feel insecure. Okay. So Spirit just helping you to, and the Pleiades helping you to white light this energy, purify it, and ground you. We have imbalance in positive polarity, the Pleiades, okay? Yeah, imbalance in a positive polarity. To me, this talks about where we feel that we always have to be positive all the time, or we feel that we always have to save others, or we feel that if we're not being 100% positive, we're acting in a lower vibrational frequency, okay? And yeah, I mean, there's no way to really ignore, you know, to really ignore like the lower vibrations on the earth plane. And I'm stopping here because I'm seeing something in this card. Okay, so there may be someone around you right now, pile number 2, like a specific people or person, someone who is kind of being negative and pulling you down at times, and you try to step in and help them or provide like a positive spin on things. And for some of you, this may be like causing some imbalance in you, okay? Not to say that things always have to be positive, but if somebody is continually coming at you just with insecurity, narrow-mindedness, if, you know, and you feel like you have to always be the one to lift them up, like this will create kind of an imbalance in a relationship or a friendship or wherever this is showing up for you, okay? Oh my God. And you know, all of these cards, these Galactic Heritage cards, I picked out only the Pleiadian references here so that we could, you know, really channel into the Pleiades here. But you know what's so interesting is I did add this Lumerian energy here too. And so some of you, and it's funny it popped up, and I love that it popped up because some of you may have connections to ancient Lemuria. And if you don't know what that is, definitely look it up. It's Lemuria, Lemuria. And Lemuria was an ancient civilization like Atlantis, maybe a less well-known one. And I actually think they were probably far more advanced than the Atlanteans. Yeah, I think the Lemurians really kind of had it figured out, honestly. Yeah, but the Lemurian era is speaking through you right now, pile number 2. And Spirit, the Pleiadians coming through. The Pleiadians were very active during the Lemurian era. They were extremely spiritually active then, and some of them even incarnating on Earth during that time. So you may have even known, some of you may have a Pleiadian guide that you knew from these times, pile number 2, which is very powerful. And that's why you are very spiritually gifted, and there's no need for you to feel insecure. Just work on your root chakra, okay? We have the desert and resilient. Okay, so sometimes it feels like we're not getting anywhere, or sometimes it feels like we don't have the resources that we need. We don't have the nourishment. We don't have the support that we need. But pile number 2, you are very resilient. Whenever I think of the word resilient, I think of like my one sister who's a Capricorn, like she's very resilient. And all my sisters are earth signs, and I am myself too. So, you know, I think that resilience comes, or the fixed signs, you know, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, the fixed signs can be very resilient as well. For those of you that have that earth energy or that fixed earth energy, and the Pleiades is in the constellation of Taurus. So talking about the Pleiadian energy helping you through a difficult time, okay? And maybe some of you have been, maybe for some of you have been experiencing like some financial things going on as well too, or some things that have been fearful or upsetting you about your own financial stability. Some of you may be experiencing that as well. And the Pleiadian's helping you to get through that, all right, with your resilience. Meditation brings answers. Okay, the Pleiadian's talking about you meditating and having a daily spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be sitting in meditation. It can be taking a walk. It can be washing the dishes. I mean, our idea of meditation is, oh, you have to sit and stare at the wall. No, I think it's just when we're doing anything like, yoga, hot yoga, I do that sometimes, is typically referred to as a moving meditation, right? So meditation brings answers. The Pleiadians are telling you. Pile number 2. I feel like some of you are wondering, should I continue on with something that I'm doing or developing my gifts? Because maybe some of you are wanting to see more money or wanting to see more results from that. And Spirit is saying, the Pleiadians are saying meditation brings answers. We have courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Yeah, with the root chakra, we can feel very fearful, like that we're not going to have the resources that we need, or how we're based in the world isn't going to support us, and Spirit talking about your devotion and your potency, your spiritual devotion, and your inner courage is part of, what is helping you to develop your spiritual gifts and move beyond any insecurities. Pile number 2, okay? We have fear. Wow, 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 wow. And it's so interesting because this eclipse is on the Taurus Scorpio axis, and, we can find some very fearful collective expression in that energy. Like, will there be enough? Do I have enough? And will I be taken care of? Is everything going to be okay, right? Fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love, okay? And the Pleiadians helping you to transcend this. Pile number 2, okay? Giving you the courage you need to find the inner strength to face any fear that you have with confidence. All right. We have you are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. Yeah. With this insecurity, some of you guys may pick yourself to death. Okay. There may be Virgo energy here too in this pile, but I feel Leo energy, Virgo energy here as well. But some of you may pick on yourselves and be perfectionists, or interpret every single thing as you made a mistake on something, okay? And Spirit is saying you are good enough, okay? The Pleiadians helping you to know your worth and understand that you are good enough, okay? And maybe when you're very insecure or feeling critical about what you're doing, pile number 1, you're also, pile number 2, you're not being balanced in the positive polarity either, in the sense that you're being too negative to yourself, okay? And let's see what else we have. Ooh, the karma of Cthulhu. That reminds me of Cthulhu. The karma of Cthulhu. Interesting. Card 43. It looks like a phoenix who's burning off their karma. Is that you right now, pile number 2? Are you a phoenix rising from the ashes? Look there's the heart on fire. The courage to rise from the ashes and burn off old karma from other eras, okay? And yeah, working on that root chakra and your resilience. Let's read this karma of Cthulhu card. It's a phoenix, okay? Let's see. And again, this eclipse is happening in Scorpio, so I mean, talk about the phoenix. It says here, your sacred soul passion is powerful enough to shift the state of your inner reality and your outer experience. So commit to what truly ignites your heart and do not be dissuaded by anything or anyone. Pile number 2, anyone who is trying to dissuade you from a lower vibrational state, making you feel insecure. Right out the gate, this oracle is saying your sacred soul passion is powerful enough to shift the state of your inner reality and outer experience. So commit to what truly ignites your heart, courage, and your heart, that we have the cosmic heart here, okay? And do not be dissuaded by anything or anyone, okay? I'm saying that very like pointedly and strictly, because if anyone is trying to dissuade you from your sacred soul passion, I'm like, no, do not do that to pile number 2, okay? If you are seeking to make a commitment, do so when it truly connects to your heart. Follow your genuine, meaningful bliss. Know that no matter what appears to be, you shall prevail, you shall rise like the phoenix. Cthulhu is a Sanskrit term that translates to that which excites wonder. That which excites wonder. Even if it doesn't seem like it, will lead us anywhere practical. Following our bliss can allow for something beautiful and deeply fulfilling to unfold. Yeah, maybe some of you wondering, like having some fear. Will I have enough money? Will I be resilient enough? Am I good at this? Thinking about a decision or a passion or something that you want to pursue, bringing up some fear, saying here, meditation on this will bring the answers, okay? Yeah, we often pursue what is sensible and secure. Yet what could be more appropriate or divinely and delightfully inappropriate than pursuing a path so intoxicating, so fascinating, so utterly mesmerizing to the spirit that no matter what challenges arise, you feel so much love and commitment and passion, you shall not turn away. Devotion, potency, the cosmic heart, okay, for sure. This is the stuff of potential greatness. We might call it being led by our hearts. Cthulhu is permission to do just that. The shadow side or unconscious pursuit of Cthulhu is seen as when we choose our bliss in such a way that nothing genuine ever gets a chance to mature. We may be lured by greener grass and chase after every new possibility like a butterfly flitting from place to place. This doesn't involve the heart, but rather the restless mind, which acts from fear, right? Here's fear and avoidance, rather than using passionate devotion as its foundation. Yeah, the Pleiadian is helping you with passionate devotion and releasing any insecurity. Pile number 2, also talking about the foundation, the root chakra. The commitment that emerges out of true Cthulhu is not about clipping one's wings, but about growing them and learning how to fly skillfully, right? And the tools that you need. Find the right tools, and practice makes perfect. Without commitment, one takes a leap, tries to fly, fails, and rather than going through the process again and again until there is understanding that leads to mastery, one tries to ride a bike or surf or dance, teach or heal, or innumerable other things, never getting any chance to settle and evolve. Yeah, so really letting yourself settle right now, pile number 2, so that you can evolve with whatever it is that you want to do here. Let yourself be truly excited and inspired. Allow yourself to stumble, to not know, and to become the holy mess that precedes sacred rebirth. When your attraction is deep and soulful, you will have the capacity to stay the course, even through difficulties. Do not allow the ego to tell you that the struggle must be a sign that the path isn't right for you, and thus drag you away in search of a substitute paradise. Okay, wow. The oracle of karma of Cthulhu can relate to those times when you are just discovering the path, feeling inexplicably fascinated by something, and are encouraged to explore just what the true nature of this fascination can be. Then the karma of wonder is guiding us to fulfill the deepest longings and attain spiritual freedom in the process. We often think of karma as negative, but positive karma is our connection to guiding grace, the soul's delight that empowers us to live with joy and rapture. Yeah, people always talk about karma as if it's a really bad thing, and it's not. You know, I mean, there are things that are tougher about our karma, and our karma can bring up a lot of fear too. It can be a fearful place, but, you know, facing it with courage and, you know, meditating on it and a devotional practice, finding the right tools, getting rid of any insecurity, pile number 2, is where you're really going to see that karma become very positive for you. Like, it's going to become We all have it. And they always say that old souls have the most karma out of everyone. Of course we do. Of course we do. Like, not having any karma is a sign of a very young soul, pile number 2. So remember that. Let's go ahead and see what the Pleiadians are asking pile number 2 to embrace right now, okay? I feel like some of you may have, when you get nervous, you may get those butterflies in your tummy or start to feel a little bit sick. Don't worry, pile number 2, there's the High Priestess, okay? Some of you are very spiritually gifted, as I said. You're intuitive, you're spiritual, you're a healer, you have wisdom to share, and you have teaching and wisdom, and you're a very gentle soul, pile number 2, but don't let it get it twisted. You're already one with the information that you need to know, I feel. It's just about practicing and grounding, I feel like, for you, pile number 2, okay? Let's see what else from the Pleiadians. We have the Devil. So to me, this represents these lower vibrations of people who are making you question yourself, being insecure, telling you, it's maybe your own self too, telling yourself this isn't practical, right? Because the Devil just represents Saturn. And this isn't practical, I can never do this wouldn't work. You know, it's my fate to be trapped in this particular role or in this relationship. It's my fate, and you know, I'm meant to suffer. Like, Saturn can be that long suffering energy. And yeah, so no need to, and the devil energy can be very narrow-minded too. And especially if it's someone else that's trying to control us. And if there is anyone in your life, pile number 2, that is not being sincere with you or is not revealing themselves, I feel like with this eclipse, you know, this particular eclipse is really revealing a lot, okay? It's revealing a lot, and intuitively, you're gonna know, all right? You're gonna know, pile number 2. There's no reason to hold on to this in the pit of your stomach, okay? Let's release it, pile number 2. We have 9 of Wands, okay? So the journey isn't easy, and sometimes it can make us feel like we've tried something before. The whole message here with this karma of Cthulhu, like we tried something before, it didn't work, so we give up, right? But there's an internal nudging, the High Priestess, within ourselves that will not let us give up and that knows what our true path is, okay? So yeah, like, just because something is harder doesn't mean it's not our path, okay, pile number 2? So meditate on your answers. We have the Hierophant, which is Taurus, okay? And the Hierophant and the High Priestess, very, very spiritual energies, okay? The Hierophant was actually, the word cut is Greek, and it means like a Greek, like a Greek minister, or like, you know, a Greek, they call it the La Pope, or the Pope too. You could explain with the Hierophant, okay? I mean, the Hierophant is also like, you know, like, don't tell me this, I already know, right? Which can be stubborn energy in a way. But I also feel like some of you guys are feeling the weight, the heavy weight of something that you're doing, and you may be questioning yourself, like, can I really do this? Would this really matter? Do I have what it takes to do this? Okay, and some of you may be connecting to a fear that you're not going to have enough, or you tried and something didn't work, okay? But I feel like, you know, the Hierophant is also the energy of a spiritual teacher. So the Pleiadians wanting to connect with you, talking to you about any insecurities, about past efforts that maybe were not received the way that you wanted to, but also talking about your own inner knowing of what your true path is and not to give up, okay? Pile number 2, do not give up, is what the Pleiadians are saying. All right, some of you may have an audience someday, I feel, as well. Yeah, keep working on it, for sure. Keep fucking working on it. The Wheel of Fortune is on the bottom of the deck. You can't see all the moving pieces right now, pile number 2, but they are moving. They are moving for you. Keep working on it. Keep perfecting, keep training, keep practicing, keep pushing. Okay, you have the energy. If it's your life path, then it's something, you know, we have this whole devotion, right, with the cosmic heart. If this is your devotional path, then so be it. Pile number 2, so mote it be. And you know, we all go through this 8 of Pentacles phase when we're like apprenticing, when we're learning, when we need to stop being narrow-minded about what we're learning. It is important, you know, what you're learning is important right now, pile number 2, okay? It's not nothing. It is something, and it is going to benefit you, okay? So the Pleiadian's talking to you about your mastery with whatever skill you're working on or whatever it is that you want to do, pile number 2, helping you to transcend away from limited thinking or insecurities as well. Thank you so much, pile number 2. I loved your reading. I hope that helped you. I hope that it just helped you feel like you could free yourself, right? Free yourself from any limitations, pile number 2, because right now limitations are good for us, but also like when we're tapping into our spiritual gifts, as long as we're grounding ourselves and respecting our energy and having a devotional practice, like go for it, pile number 2. Okay, so go for it, my darlings. Please leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe, and let me know how this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is feeling for you as we approach it. Thank you so much, my beautiful pile number 2s, and take care. Woo! All right, those are some energies, aren't they? Let's go ahead and move into pile number 3. Okay. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Labordorite crystal, and today's reading is called Embracing Pleiadian Frequencies, Full Moon Lunar Eclipse in Taurus, which we are having on Friday, November 19th. And the energy of this eclipse is already building. And if you listen to my intro, you already know what this is all about. And you've all been having your individual experience with this energy as well, okay? This eclipse is on the Taurus-Scorpio axis, and it is kicking off a series of eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio until July of 2023. So, you know, long-term energy, pile number 3. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get some messages from our Pleiadian guides today, pile number 3, so that we may move forward with clarity and truth. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the beautiful energy of my pile number 3, and please step forward, Pleiadian guides of pile number 3, and also my own special Pleiadian guide, which I rely on and give thanks to everlasting. All right, pile number 3, let's go ahead and get into it. I think I talked about a huge spider that I saw before in pile number 3 in my last reading, and someone said, oh, it's a wolf spider. And I was like, yeah, that definitely was a wolf spider. I also posted a picture of a wolf spider on my Instagram and wrote about this eclipse if anyone wants to go there, because I feel that spider energy is nice and full for us right now. Oh, there's the Empress, pile number 3, looking at us. And the Empress is associated with Venus, and of course, the Empress could represent Taurus or Libra, which find their domicile, at which Venus finds her domicile in Taurus or Libra, okay, which also is tying in with the energy of the Pleiadian energy, tying in with this Pleiadian energy. And Spirit, I want to feel like right away, pile number 3, highlighting the generosity of your spirit, pile number 3, okay? So let's go ahead and do it. If you share what you have with others, when you have a bounty, then, you know, it returns to you tenfold. Pile number 3, eclipses can be a good time to make a donation to charity if you have it, if you can do it. It's a really good time, even if it's a small amount, because it's saying, you know, I bless others as I'm blessed. I'm also blessing others, and it's adding, you know, positive energy to the world, which is always beautiful, pile number 3. So let's go ahead and see how the Pleiadian frequencies are embracing my pile number 3s. Oh, jump in. All right. You know what? It's so interesting because, you know, jumping in through the eye of the hurricane sometimes is what it feels like during an eclipse, right? You know, what's so funny is I really was feeling Andromedan energy as well. And Andromedan energy is also Venus energy. So some of you are not only connected to the Pleiades, but to Andromeda as well. And Andromedans are very, you know, connected to that energy of symmetry and, you know, and they're exciting as well. They're very exciting people. It's like they have that Venus side about them that's very focused on, you know, the right actions and the right lines and the way that we go about things, you know, from a high-minded perspective. But they're also very, very adventurous. The Andromedans are, and they travel a lot and they go places, and their energy just spreads out as you jump through the eye of the hurricane. Okay, so this is very exciting, pile number 3. I like this a lot. And we have in the eye here, they're actually showing like an eye. This eye really looks like this Labordorite. So some of you guys may actually use Labordorite to channel into certain frequencies, which is amazing. Labordorite is great for that. And it says jump in. All right, jump into whatever it is that you're doing. I also got exercise or some type of physical activity here for those of you that like swimming or dancing or any type of thing. I feel like Spirit is saying jump in. Andromedan energy, adventure. Say yes to change, my darlings. Say yes to change. It is gonna be exciting. We have Jade and good fortune. Yes, I love this, okay? To the Chinese people, jade is a crystal for good luck, good fortune, and good health. With this gemstone, yeah, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I love that saying, pile number 3. With this gemstone, you can expect good things to happen, and with that optimism, more opportunities will come your way. When worn as jewelry, jade helps you to attract prosperity, happiness, well-being, and longevity. Carrying a piece of jade is like having a 4-leaf clover in your pocket. As I am grateful for all the good fortune I have, more blessings flow into my life. Yeah, that's what I saw. You guys are very generous souls. And if you have something, you know, an eclipse time can be an amazing time to give back. It also brings you good fortune times 10, right? Thinking about other people and realizing, you know, hey, I have a lot here. I'm going to share with others, right? To whatever way that you can. We have writer, write, or should I say type your story. All right, some of you in pile number 3, you're creatives, you're writers, or something that you have to do, like with a new project or something that you need to work on, is going to be very fortunate for you. And the Pleiadians are saying, jump in, go for it. And the Andromedans are also here, and they're very artistic. You know, they are very, very artistic. So I am feeling this. The Pleiadian, my Pleiadian guide is like, we are too, you know. The Pleiadians are very artistic as well, okay? So this is exciting, pile number 3. Jump in. You know, something about your story or what you need to share or tell is important now. We have permission. Wow, permission to tell your story, permission to jump in, permission to do what you want to do. Allow spirit and source to work through you now. Okay, so right now the Pleiadians and the Andromedans are saying, give us permission to work with you, okay? And if you need to look up Pleiadian, Andromedan energy, look it up, read about it, understand what it is, and ask that energy work with you. Give it permission to work with you on whatever it is that you're trying to do right now. Some of you may be working on a new project, or you got an amazing idea for something, and it is going to bring you a lot of good fortune and blessings. Just give your guides permission to work with you right now, okay? You're like the bride of spirit right now, pile number 3. I love, like, it looks like she's wearing a wedding dress here. So just give permission to fill you up, pile number 3. I don't know why that sounded sexual, but you know what I mean, to fill you up with their energy. We have fears. Face your fears and stop running from them, okay? You have permission to do what you want to do, and Spirit is like, go ahead and jump in. The Pleiadians are here to help thread the needle for us as far as it comes to facing our deepest fears. And, you know, fear has been a big thing in 2021. I mean, I'd say it's probably been the biggest thing of 2021, like people having to face their fears ever since 2020, really. And when we had that plutonic year of 2020. So, you know, giving yourself permission to just start something and do it, even if it feels a little fearful. Now, for those of you, some of you may feel like you need to ask for someone's help or ask for something right now too, or, you know, give yourself permission to, if you need help with something, pile number 3, give yourself permission to ask other people, like, hey, you know, but you're not married to their feedback, okay? You have permission to do whatever it is that you want, but sometimes it's helpful, especially if you're in a fearful place, to talk to someone who's already made that journey. You know what I mean? Talk to your guides, actually talk to someone who's already crossed that threshold, okay? And I am seeing the initial B here, B and P and H and A, the number 15, okay? The number 27 is also showing, which could be a birthday or a special number for someone. You know, there's a lot that happens in the darkness, right? And confusion can come when we feel fearful, right? I feel like the Pleiadians are saying if there's something that you're trying to do now when it comes to creativity or what projects or things jump in, you have the green light, okay? You have permission, pile number 3. We see victim mentality. The universe wants what's best for you, not the worst. Change your perspective, okay? So some of you may have been taken advantage of before. You know, victimhood is a real thing. It's not like, you know, no one wants to be a victim in today's society, right? But oftentimes as children, we may be victimized or emotionally terrorized by how we grew up, or we may be at times like feeling like we can't get ourselves out of the situation that we're in, kind of with a victim mentality, or feeling like the universe is against us, right? And Spirit is saying, no, like you have permission. You absolutely do have permission to do what it is that you want, okay? Suspiciousness is a quality of distrust and disbelief. Give yourself reasons why you feel this. Okay, so talking about suspicious, for some of you thinking, oh, things never really turn out for me, or, you know, things don't really go my way and everything has to be hard and the bottom is going to fall out from something, fear, right? Spirit talking about, you know, the Pleiadians too, talking about being overly suspicious, right? So distrust or disbelief, pile number 3, that something could actually turn out good, which you have good fortune right here. So literally it can, okay? And if you've been suspicious about an opportunity that you've been given to do something, I feel like you're getting permission here to jump in on it. Okay, pile number 3. So let's see, we have stubbornness. Wow, okay, card 40, the energy of the Pleiadians. All right, and the Pleiades aligns with with Taurus, the constellation of Taurus, which is also known for being quite stubborn. All right, so sometimes we hold ourselves back because we're like, oh no, that couldn't possibly be good, or that couldn't possibly be true, right? Sometimes it's easier to stay stuck than to actually just go with the adventure, okay? But this energy is in the past. It says past here. So you guys are moving beyond this and just going for it, all right? They always say, don't ask for permission, just do it, okay? We have balanced relationships. Wow, this is card 88, and it's talking about the future. So maybe in the past you hung on to friendships, family relationships, romantic relationships that out of stubbornness because you didn't really want to change, or you didn't want to deal with change. But I think the bigger picture here, pile number 3, is that, you know, balanced relationships bring you good fortune and help you, you know, say yes to adventure. So this is something that you are cultivating right now, is this sense of having balanced relationships, and even like a balanced relationship within yourself, right? Where at times you dig your heels in and don't give up, and other times you jump fully into things, right? Even a balanced relationship with how you see the future too. Like some good could really come out of this, okay? We have coral, number 45, and nurture. So Spirit is asking you to nurture your creative talents right now, okay? Whether you're writing, whatever it is that you do creatively, or whatever it is that you have been wanting to do, I feel like Spirit is saying nurture your gifts right now. The Pleiadians are saying this, okay? We have no. All right. So no is coming right out under this permission card. And I feel like some of you have asked for permission for things in the past, or you've asked if you could do things, or wondered if you could do things, and maybe you felt like you got a no, right? And it made you feel like the universe wasn't for you, all right? And there's a suspiciousness or a fear that the answer is no, or that if you ask for permission for something, it's gonna be no, right? Yeah, so I think this is something the Pleiadians are helping you to work through, pile number 3, to face your fears and stop running from them, and also to help you, give you permission to say no to the things that do not nurture you, to the things in your life that are unbalanced, to stubborn energy that refuses to let you change. The Pleiadians are helping you to move through this. Yeah, balance. Okay, balance. There is reference to balance here twice in this reading, and it says, I bring a perfect state of balance and harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Okay, so yeah, a perfect state of harmony. Some of you saying no to certain things and facing your fears and letting go of, you know, a stubborn belief maybe that things couldn't turn out in a good way. All right. We have perseverance. Here you are, pile number 3. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Absolutely, right? I know that I can do whatever it is. Jump in, okay? And stubbornness can be a good thing when it comes to like not giving up, but it also can be not so great when we're like not allowing ourselves to jump into something new, okay? But talking about this energy, the Pleiadians helping you with balance and perseverance, helping you understand you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to, okay? Ooh, pile number 3. We have the full moon in Capricorn. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So maybe some of you did try to put your work out there, or you did try to ask for something, and the answer that you got was no. And that can be very disappointing. You know, that can be really, really disappointing, feeling like people are stubbornly working against you, or no matter what, like it can't change, right? And Spirit is saying some of you have had to persevere through a very tough cycle of hearing no about certain things, okay? But there are other things here that you are supposed to jump into, get excited about, and are going to represent very good fortune to you and bring you balanced relationships, and are going to help you nurture the things creatively that you want to do, okay? So this tough cycle that you've been experiencing, I feel like the Pleiadians are helping to close this out for you. They're recognizing your perseverance, and now they're going to help balance these energies for you. We have Spirit Bear of 396 hertz, okay? So for those of you that resonate with the animal totem of the bear, that's very protective energy. I'm going to go ahead and read it. You know, it's card 15, which I mentioned the number 15 earlier on this Face Your Fear cards. So if some of you have been feeling fear, the energy of this bear energy is coming to protect you, okay? And I'm seeing the letter D and the letter C here as well. And I feel like no is also on the tip of this like animal of this bear's head as well, okay? Some of you may be in a period of questioning about a relationship as well that definitely needs more balance and isn't balanced in the state that it is. And maybe you've already kind of started to pick up on that, pile number 3. This is kind of like a side message here. for those of you that resonate. But I feel like there's a protective energy around you with this bear spirit. I do feel like it's a protective masculine energy as well. So let me read something here about this bear spirit. How lovely. All right. You are being healed from guilt and fear. Yeah, fear is right here. Okay, you're being healed from guilt and fear. Such emotions will no longer steal your personal power or dissuade you from confidence, happiness, or realizing your own worth. No matter how unlikely it may seem, you are going to emerge from a spiritual winter into light and life. Emerging from a spiritual winter, for sure. Pile number 3, that's beautiful. Pile number 1 was going through a spiritual growth spurt, and you are emerging from a spiritual winter. The divinely ordained time for your liberation, healing, and emergence is much closer than you realize. Yeah, some of this may feel like it's been very far away, but your first card is jump in, and literally you diving in. So it's coming a lot quicker. Abundant blessings are stirring and shall soon manifest. The frequency of 396 hertz is deeply nurturing and protective. Yeah, at the center we have nurturing, and we have this bear energy here too. So it's all there. And it is the heart frequency of the universal mother, protecting her young, deflecting negativity, and refusing to overly condition the youthful mind. She looks out for them and provides warnings lest they wander too far from their authentic path, but she also encourages the child to learn who they are, to courageously explore their world, and to enjoy their freedom. Now, for those of you that had a very difficult or challenging mother, and you had to really persevere through that experience, my heart totally goes out to you. Pile number 3. And this is talking about the energy and the protection of the universal mother, okay? Irrespective of your personal experience with your biological mother, the divine mother energy in the soul is loving, protective, available, and kind. The inner mother love enables us to develop our own sense of personal value, belonging, and home. In connection with the inner divine mother, we feel loved, wanted, and held. We know ourselves well enough to understand what we need and what we value ourselves enough to live in such a way that our needs are met. Yeah, self-love and self-respect. All right. The guidance when we connect with our authentic path, we can access the abundance of spiritual support available to us and make progress. The guidance may arise as a no, not right now, or a yes and go for it, right? Because there was something here that was a no, but now there is a yes. I feel pile number 3 jumping in, okay? And yeah, let's see what else we have here. We recognize that we matter, not more than any other, but we can feel self-love and self-respect. And this nurturing frequency heals the heart and softens the walls which keep love out due to past abandonment and betrayal. Yeah, for sure. For those of us that have gone through abandonment and betrayal, like that can, that can really take a toll, as I know so well, pile number 3. As we let go of our defense systems, disabling fear and guilt from running our lives, and instead deal with the occasional interloops that need to be cleared and healed, we stop fearing we will never have what we genuinely want and need. We realize that we are loved and know how to love and are naturally, innately beings of love. This frequency helps the body to ground, and it helps the mind to settle in the body rather than constantly flitting from one possibility to the next, creating excitement but also an excess of nervous energy. It helps the mind and body play nicely with one another, supporting each other rather than opposing each other, okay? This frequency harmonizes beautifully with the spiritual medicine of the bear soul totem. It encourages your natural ability to find sweetness in life, to sustain hope, and heal our hearts. Okay. Yeah, this oracle urges you to go within where there is a tremendous healing force awakening. Give it the time and space it needs to do its best work for you. Okay, so there is the Pleiadians bringing you a lot of healing right now, really helping you to release fear, pile number 3, and give you the permission and the balance between your body and your mind in order to make decisions that are good for you, okay? And to balance out your relationships as this tough cycle ends, okay? good fortune coming your way, pile number 3. So let's see, let's look at the tarot for my beautiful pile number 3s and see how the Pleiadians are guiding pile number 3, please. Spirit, how are the Pleiadians guiding? Okay, there's the 7 of Cups, right? And the Spirit Bearer energy talked about this in the card, about like which direction should I go? Should I go here? Should I go there? What do I really desire? Is this a yes or a no? I'm not sure what way to go, where I feel like your higher self has been there the whole time, telling you don't be tempted by all of this. You already know the direction that you want to go, and here's your permission to do it, okay? Let's go ahead and see what else the Pleiadians are helping you with. They're helping you to, with the 10 of Swords, to know when enough is enough and not to keep trying different things. When something is ready to just, when you're ready to move on to something new. And I feel some of you are moving on to something new with this jump in energy. The Pleiadians are here to help you clearly say, that's not something that I want anymore. Okay, whatever it is, like that is not something that I want anymore. This is what I actually want. And yeah, pile number 3, I love that for you. Let's see what else here. They're also here to talk to you about your body and how not being sure has been, or just kind of going all over the place, either in a relationship where something was unbalanced, has not been the greatest for your body either, okay? So there is a huge emphasis on balanced relationships here. And this King of Swords, I feel like the Pleiadian, here's a Pleiadian guide coming through here and saying, if a situation is making you feel exhausted, mentally shaken, anxiety filled, then it's time to rebalance the energy immediately and have some important conversations or move on from it, okay? And the King of Swords also talking about making proactive decisions that take you more towards what you want and less down the wrong path. Like if you're being presented with 10 different paths, it's like, okay, which one do I go down? And if you knew ahead of time that that path wasn't going to be what you wanted, it would be so much easier, right? And I feel like the Pleiadians, if you give them permission, pile number 3, to come in, they are going to help guide you, okay? If you haven't worked with the Pleiadians much before, then it may be an interesting thing for you to do or to read about or to understand. But if you give them permission, they're going to help you avoid the confusion and maybe the dishonesty that has, and the backstabbing and the betrayals. They're going to help work with you on that, pile number 3, okay? I mean, sometimes we can't avoid them. It's just life, you know? But other times, if our inner guide is you know, strong and determined, when we're connecting with that energy and we have a clear head, we know when it's okay to say no to something, when an option we're being presented with just isn't good enough, all right? Or just doesn't meet our needs or is over. Here's the Ace of Cups. So again, this new energy of jumping into things, okay? Try not to judge whatever new energy is entering your path right now, whether it's a project, whether it's a person, whether it's just your own connecting deeper to yourself spiritually. Try not to judge based on what happened in the past, especially for those of you that had some type of religious trauma, which I've been there myself, pile number 3, or also just a very challenging relationship with family as well is another thing. Like I mentioned, the mother here, okay, like a mother who was very difficult for some of you, I feel. There is something beautiful. There's a spiritual awakening in your heart right now with the Ace of Cups. And, you know, there's of this new opportunity or this new relationship or this new chapter that you're having with someone. I feel like there's nothing to fear. You don't need to be suspicious. Your head is clear. You've learned your lesson and you're ready to jump into something here, okay? And it's exciting, but it also can bring up some fear. The Pleiadians are helping you to navigate through this energy in a very mentally clear and focused kind of way. Like you're going to be able to clearly see, no, that isn't for me, or yes, that is for me, okay? Let's see what else are the Pleiadians assisting with. What else are the Pleiadians assisting with for pile number 3, please. What else? Last card. What else? What else are the Pleiadians assisting with? 10 of Pentacles, absolutely. And the Lovers on the bottom of the deck, okay? So some of you really wanting a relationship and it's maybe been going slow. And I see a King of Wands here for those of you that resonate with the King of Wands. But I feel like, you know, there's a golden opportunity with the Ace of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles for something really amazing to grow, right? And I love that the Ace is like watering the 10 of Pentacles, because we need, like, in order for things to grow, we need like our hearts to be opened and to not be completely suspicious, right? We have this suspiciousness card. Like, we can all be suspicious at times, and sometimes it really does serve us. But I feel like, you know, you guys are entering a phase where whatever it is that you're considering right now, should I do this? Should I I feel like the answer is, this is good. Like, you've learned from the past when maybe you stayed in indecision, or you let the decision be made for you and it didn't work out in your favor, pile number 3. But this situation that you're contemplating now is different. And I do feel like there is love here, and there is an intention towards longevity. Whether this is a project, what you want to do, a person, or just within yourself, I feel like it's almost like innocence regained with the Ace of Cups, and believing that the future can be like prosperous. Okay, my beautiful pile number 3s, where there once was like weeds and things were really torn down and there wasn't any good plants or any trees growing. I feel like now there finally is. This is starting for you. And if you have been feeling anxiety or fears coming on, or guilt about something that you let go of, ask the Pleiadians to help you process that, okay? To balance your energies here, because, you know, this tough cycle is ending for you, pile number 3, okay? So thank you so much, my loves. Definitely say your prayers during this eclipse and do something nice for another person if you can. It's a great time to do that, to bring blessings into your own life as well. And if you like this reading, pile number 3, please give me your feedback. If you did or didn't, I'll take your feedback anyway. And do leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe, and let me know how this eclipse energy has been playing out for you. So thank you so much, my wonderful pile number 3s. And thank you so much to everyone. Thank you for being here, and many blessings on your path. Take care.